And good morning, everyone. It is March 27th, 8 a.m. in California, and wherever you are, hope you're having a good day. I'm Rick Zanotti, and guess who's next to me?
Guess who?
Guess who? It's Gina Schreck. Hey, Gina, how's it going?
Good. Good morning. Yeah, we have a little fire danger going here, so if you hear, if I run suddenly, you'll know that the flames have come over the mountain, but we do have some fires burning here in Colorado, and they've been on national news, but I am safe and sound. And more importantly, I have my giant cup of coffee, so I'm ready to go. And had an interesting week. And later in the show, I'm going to tell you about my 24-hour period that I spent in Facebook jail. I was banned from Facebook for 24 hours for something I posted. And we'll talk about that because it was a big learning moment. Some of you have already seen the video I did about this and what I learned. So we'll talk about how to stay out of Facebook jail and my new career possibly as a Facebook bail bondsman. I think that might be a new career path for me. But before we get to that and some fun app and gadget, shiny object information, we have a really exciting, every week we say this, Rick, and it gets better and better each week. I'm really thrilled because I happened to hear our guest last week on a show, and I was smitten by her. It was like an instant girl crush on Gayl Murphy, and I said, I love this woman. Everything she said was brilliant, and I loved her enthusiasm for the topic. So, Rick, you're going to show a short video before we bring in our guest, Gayl Murphy. So, cue the video. I feel like Hollywood. I need those click action.
And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Do I look festive in Oscar? Better say yes. Look festive in Oscar? Better say yes.
I heard one person, Gayl Murphy, who's a Los Angeles-based author, and she's also a celebrity interviewer. She said that movie types were scrambling to get tickets to tomorrow night's event.
Wow.
And she said they were scrambling so big time that it was almost as though they had dug up Elvis.
Oh, that's...
Showbiz journalist Gayl Murphy joins us now.
We're live to LA now, and the entertainment reporter Gayl Murphy. And Gayl, this is a US award ceremony, but there is a lot of British talent going to be there tonight.
You guys pulled out the big guns on this one, but I actually counted a few more Brits on the program. Archie Punjabi, who won Outstanding Supporting Actress in the drama The Good Wife. She gave a nod to her friend Angelina Jolie. They had both been in A Mighty Heart together, and she called her her inspiration.
The big Hollywood sign, it is in danger. The land around it is up for sale. We're going to go to showbiz journalist Gayl Murphy. Time is running out to save the iconic landmark.
They were talking about taking the actual letters and turning them into a hotel.
Is there a serious belief that the sign could disappear and that houses could be built on the land around it?
No. No, you'll never guess who came riding in on the white horse with $900,000 in hand. And when I heard it was Hugh Hefner, what's in it for him? Is he going to put the two O's together and do something that little children can't watch?
This evening.
And there you go. Hi, Gayl. How are you?
Good morning from Tinseltown.
And somehow I think we lost Gina.
Oh, did you lose Gina?
I think Gina just checked out.
You think?
Yeah, huh?
Maybe went for another cup of coffee, or
Maybe.
She's checking out that smoke, huh?
Let me go find out. Let me get her back online. That was sort of
Get
weird.
that girl.
She usually doesn't check out until the end, so this is a little... She must have gotten disconnected.
Was it something we said?
No, hopefully not. All right, let's try to get her back on.
Well, it's good that you're at the helm.
She just disappeared. All of a sudden I go, wait a minute, it's quiet. Where's Gina? Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Every so often, well, with fires, who knows what's going on with her Skype?
Well, yes, because some of the cables are buried and some of them are on poles.
Well, being in California, we've been through all these fires. They're fun, not.
Well, I was just going to say,
you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message.
Ah.
Yeah, it looks like she has...
One of the things about these fires, and I've been watching them all morning, is the reason why they're having so much problems fighting them is because of the intense winds, which are upwards of 50 miles an hour.
That's a lot.
And if her lines are on poles...
Oh,
that could be an issue for her. She
person
said that
whom
the
you're
fire
trying
is
to
actually
reach-
over the hill.
Yeah, it looks like it's not connected. Let me try it one more time, and then we'll just continue for a while.
Okay. She's probably freaking out.
Well, let's see. She was banned from Facebook. Now she's been banned from the show. She's doing well.
Yeah, banned from your own show.
The person whom you're trying to reach.
All right, we'll try her in a minute or so. We should see her trying to log in a couple moments.
Okay,
Well-
that's fine. We're radio pros.
Yep, we'll keep it going. So
Absolutely.
anyway, so Gayl, how did you wind up in Hollywood of all places?
Well, it was the place to go when I was just a kid and out of high school. But I had always been very attracted to the media and show business and just how that whole thing works. And I was very, very lucky early on. I actually BS'd my way onto the #1 radio station here in Los Angeles and became, somewhat successful at it. And it turned out to be a very good thing for me. Fast forward about 20 years later, I was working for ABC. They got bought by Disney, and I didn't really want to move forward in that way. So I went to work for the BBC and Sky. But I also had this burning in the pit of my stomach where I really wanted to give something back. And one of the things, as a correspondent, I wound up working for ABC News for about 20 years. As a correspondent, one of the things I interviewed about 15,000 celebrities and newsmakers. And one of the things they all said to me, when it comes to giving back, go with what you know, go with what you know. And as a correspondent, I had met so many people along the way who had such a great product and service, but were so unprepared to actually tell another person about who they are and what they're selling. And you see this all the time on social networks. You look at all the posts and you go, could you just please bloody say something? Other than I ate a donut, it's 146 ways to say, can you hear me now? And that's the good news. The bad news, it's 146 ways to say, can you hear me now?
Right.
So I decided that I would give a leg up to all the people that I had actually had in front of my microphone who were unbelievably unequipped to really articulate who they are and what they do. I wrote a book called Interview Tactics, How to Survive the Media Without Getting Clobbered, which I feel is the quintessential insider's guide to giving a killer interview. Because when it comes to your business or your product or your service, you really need that engagement. People really need that inner view of you. And then with the explosion of media in the last 10 years, not only did we have to shorten our messages and make them concise, the way people take in who we are and what we're selling also changed. And we as a culture, as a world culture, became mediaized. So now we speak in sound bites, and we use talking points, and we pitch ourselves in succinct, short nuggets. So we're actually the media ourselves. People talk about pitching the media, but the fact is that we ourselves are the media because of how we give and take information.
It's true that there is a fine line right now between media and just almost anybody right now with the internet.
Listen, if you have a smartphone and a social media account, you are broadcasting 24/7.
That's true.
And that's the good news. The bad news is if you have an iPhone and a social media account, you can drive over a cliff. So, it's a cautionary tale. I think at least once or twice a week we hear a story on the morning news about a teacher who's been fired because she had all these pictures of herself drunk in Mexico on her Facebook page.
Right.
Or now there's this whole controversy that's going on now where employers actually are asking employee candidates to give them their Facebook passwords.
Now that's really, and I've been reading that story going, I can't believe they're legally even trying to get away with that one.
Well, you know what? They have so many people to choose from.
True.
And they want to make sure that if they're paying you, what's happening is all the line. It's not, basically what's happening is we're seeing by the very nature of that story, just another line that's been blurred by this explosion in media.
I think we got Gina back.
Oh, fantastic. She sounds like me.
I'm sorry. I was listening to you guys while I was struggling to get back in.
Oh, we had this image of you freaking out.
Yeah, the fires. But no, I was listening to your conversation about this whole Facebook and passwords.
Yeah. It's just another line that we're just uncovering what's actually, happening. The fact is that we are our own radio, TV broadcast network.
Right.
I mean, here we are, three people. I'm in two of us, Rick and I are in Southern California. You're in Colorado. We have people in Belgium. Here we are sitting either in our home offices or in our sweats or whatever, and we are broadcasting at the end of the day. And if we don't have the skills of not only how to use the language of the media to actually target our message, because we know that that's how people take in information now, we're in for a rocky road. I mean, people say to me, I call myself the Celebritizer, and people say to me all the time, do I really need a Celebritizer? I mean, come on, can't I just get out there and just tell people who I am and what I'm selling? It's like, yeah, if you really want to.
Yeah, in fact, I recommend people go to your website. You've got some great interviews there with people, and you show how some of them are just fumbling along, and then the difference as you get coached a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's what I find interesting, because Gayl, being a Hollywood correspondent, you've interviewed, hundreds or thousands of celebrities, but after a while, I mean, there's always a new face in Hollywood. I mean, we all know that. And just like the new faces in Hollywood, in our businesses, there are new businesses springing up every single day. And I think you're right that we can say that we're going to just, I can sell my business, or I can talk about my business, or I can sell my ideas. But you really do. I love the term celebritize, because you have to know how to stand out and be memorable. And that's what I feel being celebritized is how do you really stand out so that people talk about you and remember you like a Hollywood celebrity? I mean, what is it that you feel, how do you see that similar as far as businesses and celebrities?
Basically, it's about stepping into your power and taking responsibility for it. It's not enough to just toot your own horn. If you don't know what the song is, it doesn't really matter. So it's about stepping in your power and telling the world about who you are and what you do in a language that they will actually understand. And what that means is you have to make your message about them.
Right. That's a great point.
Basically, you asked me what I do. So I celebritize radio show hosts for right now. But if we were at an event with just that targeted, let's say, real estate people that bought and sold real estate, I celebritize real estate agents. If we were at the Showbiz Expo, I celebritize showbiz pros. So it's making your it's identifying your target markets. Who buys my product? What problem do I solve for the people that buy my product? Who are they and what do they do? So you have a pitch for basically every single one of your target markets.
So really you're saying you customize your services to
as
the
much as you can. As much as you can.
Right. That's very smart, because they'll listen differently.
Vacuum cleaners. What do? You help people clean people's houses, right? I get rid of your dirt. And I'm trying to make this really simple. You sell vacuum cleaners, basically what you're doing is you get rid of the dirt, you give me a clean environment. So that would go for seniors, that would go for families, that would go for single people, that would go for married people, that would go for people with kids, that would go for straight people, gay people, rich people, poor people. And so if you have a vacuum cleaner that's your cheapest but best, you sell that as an economy item.
Right.
So you really look at your product and service and say, how many ways can I cut this pie?
Yeah, that is great, because I think too many times, especially small business owners, will say, I serve everybody, or my business is for everyone. But then they don't know how to, like you're saying, celebritize or customize to make the other person feel like a celebrity and make the other person feel special.
Mm-hmm. So who is everybody? Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I came up with the idea of the Celebritizer, you know, I work in Hollywood. Hollywood are the best celebritizers of them. They're masters. They're the best celebritizers of all. What they do is they have a new Bruce Willis movie that comes out or a new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's coming out. So what they do is they have a screening. And before they turn the film on, they thank everybody for coming and they say, you're really going to love this movie. This is the best film that Morgan Freeman's done in 5 years. It's a thrill ride a minute. You're really going to love it. So they show the movie and everybody really likes it. When they open the doors, they have cameras there and they put microphones in front of people's faces and say, what did you think of the movie? And they said, oh my God, it's the best movie Morgan Freeman's done in 5 years. It's a thrill ride a minute.
They put the words in their mouths for them.
We have the ability to program the people that we talk to. I am the Celebritizer. What am I, Gina?
You're the Celebritizer.
There you go.
Yeah.
I told you who I am and what I did, and I made it easy for you to tell my story.
So really, it's about helping us, helping people package their message in a way that's remembered.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. What are some? I mean, for the average business person, what are the steps? How do we do that?
Well, we know that the media is everywhere. I think we talked about that a little bit. The media is everywhere. You know, the media used to be radio, TV, print, and people in the production of. But with this explosion in media I have redefined media in my book, Interview Tactics. Media is now anyone or anything that has the ability to take your message and move it forward. And I'm going to say that again. It's anyone or anything that has the ability to take your message and move it forward. So if you tell me, you know, my business it's not the kind of business I'm in, you know, I'm not doing media. Well, if you've ever written an email, if you have a website, if you've ever been in a photograph, if you've ever written a letter, if you ever have a business card, you're doing media. You got a cell phone, you got an iPhone, you're doing media 24/7. That's the good news. The bad news is you're doing media 24/7. So you really want to do it with a lot of intention and realize and understand that you're broadcasting all the time.
And really your brand is going out there all the time.
So what do you want people to know about you?
Yeah, what do you want them to know? And I think the more we take time to craft those messages, the better we're going to be when we're put on the spot. I would assume that's one of the things in your training is really understanding how do we fill our bag with those sound bites.
Well, yes. I mean, do you save people money? Do you give them a better quality of life? Do you make them healthier? Do they get more dates? Do they have more sex? Are they going to exercise more? Are you going to make things more safe for their children? You got to look at your product and say, what do I do? And you know what? If you're an internet marketer and you just teach people how to make money and work from home, that's pretty darn special. So you really have to get very clear about what you do. And if you're an internet marketer, who is primed for working at home and making money?
Right.
So you really want to. It's really important. Now there's in working with the media, you have to understand and appreciate what the language of the media is. So the language of the media is sound bites, talking points, and pitches. We'll just start off with the 3 easy ones. Right. A soundbite is a brief and outstanding mini version of who you are and what you're selling. It could be something as simple as you like me, you really, really like me. That was the shot heard around the world because that was so authentic. And she really wasn't selling anything, but she wound up selling herself. So a soundbite is a brief and outstanding mini version of who you are and what you're selling. And you really need to know this because there is no line between online and offline anymore because the name of the game is engagement.
Right.
Okay? So that's sound bites. Talking points. Talking points are the things that you always talk about when you talk about your business, product, or service. You really need to write those down. There's way, way more than you even think there are. And then once you get into targeting your markets and putting those on paper like a tree, you're going to just blow yourself away totally. So we have sound bites, talking points, and pitches. A pitch is, I'm the Celebritizer. A pitch is who you are and what you're selling in 5 seconds or less. You can have 25 different pitches. It's perfectly okay. With interview tactics, it's really about the right tool for the right time. So we never really throw anything away. A good pitch is what gets you is what gets you engaged. What gets you in your engagement, where you actually exchange cards. A killer pitch gets you lunch. A great pitch is what's left in the room 5 minutes after you're already gone.
What they're now telling other people.
You got that right, sister.
Yeah. That's what I always say is, it's one thing to be interesting, but memorable is even better, because then they tell other people about you and they become your salespeople. And it's funny when you say, putting all these talking points and these sound bites. I don't know why, as you were saying that, I was picturing a bag of beads. It's like having this bag of beads all polished and ready. You don't take them all out at the same time, but you're able to reach in there and string the beads together as you're talking to someone based on the conversation and how it's going.
Oh, Grasshopper, I have so much respect for you.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Interview tactics is a media bag, or a toolbox, if you will. It's like when the plumber comes, he brings everything.
Right.
And by the way, Gayl, for Gina, we have this. Gotta have some grasshopper gongs over there.
Oh, the gong. Yeah. I think that means the hook is coming soon.
But Gayl, it's so true. People go on Twitter, for example. That's a place where there's millions of people, and they put out the most idiotic things, and so, of course, they're known as idiots. And you go, if you put out something interesting or you share something valuable, all of a sudden you get the reputation of something else. And people don't really equate what they're putting out there with who they're becoming.
That's true. They're twidiots.
Twidiots.
They're twidiots. That's
right. A good one.
And I think it is the whole concept of taking some intention, putting some intention around our marketing message. I think too many times we just think, I'll think of it on the fly. So in the workshops that you do people go through and craft these sound bites and these, their pitches and talking points?
Oh my gosh, we chain them to the table. Are you kidding me? We put them in the hot seat and that's it. That's it. There is no such thing as winging it. You have to prepare in advance and know what you're going to say before you say it. Just don't write a script because you'll sound like a robot. But if you do the work, I have a 5-part workbook in the back of my book, Interview Tactics, that teaches you not only how to find your story, but what your sound bites are, what your talking points are, and how to create your pitches. So in a moment's notice, you have the right tool for the right time.
I think it's fabulous. And I know you do you do have classes and workshops. I love on your website on interviewtactics.com. Everyone needs to go there. Interviewtactics.com. There is a free media report that you offer from your homepage. A fabulous resource. Definitely everyone should go and download that, because that was your whole website. I just feel like it's a treasure chest of resources. And, now are your classes all in Southern California? Are they in Hollywood, or do you do any that are virtual?
I'm going to start doing some that are virtual. I'm very intrigued by, I'm so busy working that I hate to say it, and I'm going to sound like somebody's mother when I say this, so forgive me. I'm so fascinated by this new technology.
This whole Twitter thing and this Facebooking.
Well, I do the Twitter thing, and I want everybody to follow me on Twitter. Oh, is it Twitter? Twitter? I don't know. And I got a ton of people. I'm on Facebook and I'm on LinkedIn, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm just looking at my homepage right now. And remember what we talked about earlier? I'm just going to throw this in there. When people say, well, my business is for everyone. My business is for everyone, too. And not only that, I identified them.
Right.
I identified them. So what happens is, instead of saying this is for everyone, because everyone feels like an outsider, thank you very much. When you go to the homepage and you see it, if you're a model, actress, entrepreneur, CEO, politician, athlete, you see what you do right there. Oh, oh, okay, this is a way, I feel comfortable now.
Immediately I connected with the athlete when I saw that.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I do think you're right. You want to identify and then craft your messages for those particular segments.
Yeah, you really do. You really do. I mean, when I speak to authors or when I speak to musicians or even, full-on corporate stuff, my message is basically 99% the same. It doesn't really change.
Right.
I have a lot of case studies, so what I do is I talk about those case studies and then overlap them into the people that I'm talking to, and I tell them how that therefore applies to them. Like this example I gave you about Hollywood. Wow, it's the best Morgan Freeman picture in 5 years. It's a thrill ride a minute.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And it really is having those case studies ready, or having your stories, your examples ready to tweak enough that it connects with your audience, that connects with the person you're trying to either sell to or pitch to. And, I think sometimes we forget that, and we have the same content that we throw out there. We really haven't sat down to craft it. So we just throw it out there and hope that it connects with them. But if we take the time to really put some effort into crafting our messages, I think they will stick. That people hear it differently.
No, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. When you are in an offline situation, you're going to be asked, and even online, you're going to be asked the same 4 questions that they ask you on the evening news, the breakfast show, whatever show you happen to be on. Justin TV. They're still going to ask you the same 4 questions. So if you want to grab a pen, I call it the Fab 4. The 4 questions you will always be asked no matter who you are and in what environment you are having the opportunity to share your goodies with. And the first question is, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And you really have to have an answer. Well, I mean, it's nice that you're your parents' kid, but who are you? And then what are you selling? What is it that you're selling? Are you selling free time? Are you selling coaching? Are you selling a lifestyle that will make me healthy? Who are you? What are you selling? Why do I need it? In other words, what problem does it solve for me? You have to know what problem you solve for the person that you are selling your product to, even if it's just something as simple as making their clothes cleaner.
Right.
And then how can I get it? So you got to have a good, strong presence on the internet. Even if you're just starting, even if you haven't started, today's the first day of the rest of your life. And you got to get some business cards. No glossy front. If you can get the name of the business on the back also, so when it's upside down, and make sure that people could write on them. Now, if you've been in business a little bit longer, and you really want to start getting into the whole arena of doing media and media interviews, I have a couple resources that I'll share with you.
Ooh.
One is HARO.com. Haro, Help a Reporter Out.
It's a great source.
It's a great resource. You get the feed. It's a feed. It's a media query feed that comes out 3 times a day, and it comes right into your email box. And it's everything from USA Today looking for someone who's an expert in real estate law to someone who's an expert in throwing parties for young kids, someone who's an expert on the detriment of video games, somebody who can sing the praises of online marketing, someone who thinks it's a great idea that employers ask for passwords on Facebook. You might even have someone who's on a deadline today for a Colorado paper saying how to get out of the way of the fires as quickly as you possibly can.
Right.
So you get about 30 or 40 cues 3 times a day, and that'll keep you busy. I should actually give a class on what I think is the best way to respond to those cues, but make it fast, make it concise, get in, get out, leave them your information, and if they need what you have, do not write the Gutenberg Bible because they already have it. Okay, that's not going to work.
True. It's like, just be brief, people.
Just be brief. Say who you are, what you're selling, what problem you solve, and how they can find you.
This is awesome. And you are just a wealth of information and just so generous with all these resources.
Oh, honey, you know what? It's a gift. The second resource is something called Reporter Connection, which is very similar to Haro. I think it comes out only once a day. And they actually help you when you respond because you respond in fields. They actually make it easier for the end user to read it. But, it could be anything from the USA Today, Washington Post, Huffington, some mommy blogger somewhere, some daddy blogger, Forbes. It could be, it's a cornucopia of stuff.
Right.
So you want to be familiar with that. And, a couple weeks go by, you don't answer anything because you're busy. Don't worry about it. Don't feel guilty. Go to it when you can because you have to be very clear and focused when you put this together and you don't want the tail wagging the dog.
Right.
And so both of those are really great resources to start and get some press. And I've been really, really lucky on Haro and also on Reporter Connection.
And, and people, again, being a little strategic with your social media, make sure you're following the media resources that you would like to get picked up by, because a lot of times they're looking at their Twitter stream. I mean, I got a contact from somebody from PC Magazine because we follow each other on Twitter, and she interviewed me recently about, using Twitter, and it was, I just think we sometimes, if we put a little focus and strategy behind what we do all day, it really does make a huge difference. Haro, I actually had to have somebody on our team comb through because there's so much. There's just so many places that you can respond to, but such a great resource.
Overwhelm is such a buzzkill. It is such a buzzkill. When you get overwhelmed, just stop. Go and fold some laundry. Go and straighten the pillows out on your couch. Go and just wash your hands. Just do something to get away from it because it is it'll bring it to your knees. If you can't do it that day, don't do it. Because when you're working with media, here's the thing. I talk about the good news is armed with an iPhone and a couple social media accounts is the good news and the bad news. Right. We're broadcasting 24/7. It has to be done with intention if we have a business product or service. If you're not up for it today, don't do it today.
Don't do it. That's right.
Don't do it because all you have is your brand. And you could win the Nobel Prize for Peace, and all people are going to remember is that Christmas party that you put the lampshade on your head.
That's so true. It is like Rick said earlier, it's the stupid thing that you send out on Twitter or Facebook that people will remember. Everything we do has to be on brand.
It has to be on brand, and it has to be on topic, but it has to be authentic. And it, I was gonna one of the things I teach is how to give a killer interview, as you well know. I was gonna change the spelling of it to interview because
cool.
That's what it is. That's really what it is. And when people interview you, that's what they want.
That's a great point. They want to see inside. It's kind of like wanting to see behind the curtain a little bit of the real person, and you're sharing things from the heart.
Well, and the reason is because people want to do business with people that they like.
Right.
And they want to have some fun. I'm going to drop some names right now, so
do it. I'm ready.
Hollywood hat. When you have people like Steven Spielberg and Clint Eastwood and Woody Allen, who have all done, so many fabulous films. Every time they make a film, they've been working with the same people since film one. They never change their crew. It's the same people each time. I mean, I remember talking to Clint when he did this last movie, J. Edgar, about this thing that he does. Why? Because he breezes in at 9 in the morning and he leaves at 5. People know how he works. They know how he works. They just can't wait to work together again every time he makes a movie because it runs like clockwork. They're fun. Right. He's fun. It's a fun environment to work in.
See, and so that, I mean, yeah, people want to be around that.
How many times do you meet people? I mean, I think the best relationships are when you meet people and you have so much fun, and the question is, "Oh my God, this is so fun! How can we work? How can we make some money out of this?
Right,
right. How can we work together?
How do we work together?"
Instead of
make sure you tell people how can you work together. Sometimes we do all this stuff with our pitch, but we forget to tell them here's how we can actually work together.
And here's what I think would be a good idea. I connected with somebody on LinkedIn yesterday who had the most colorful and interesting profile I'd ever read. And I just said, man, you have the most interesting and colorful profile I've ever met. And he sent me back. He said, if you honestly know a way that we can work together, please tell me.
It's interesting. Your profile, and this is something I typically will throw out probably at least every other week. I always say on Twitter, everyone stop right now and go look at your profile. Could you make it more interesting? Because sometimes we put such boring facts about ourselves that it's just a bunch of facts. But if you do something that intrigues people, like you said, her profile or his profile intrigued you enough to want to deepen that or go a little further. I just think a profile, you can, just like you said in the soundbite, you can pack a lot in a small amount of text.
Well, I find it interesting that on profiles you get things like a human being. Really? Wow. Or a husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, aunt. It's like all in one. It's like 33 different positions. You go, okay, so what do you actually do?
I do love the ones that say, I love my husband or I love my wife. I always want to say, what?
I hope so.
I know. Why would you put that on your profile?
I know. Look, when the going gets tough, the tough use the media. What in the heck do you want people to know about you? Here's the spotlight. Here's the microphone. Here's the Tonight Show band. Here's hair and makeup. Go, girl. Go, guy. Hit a home run. Make it happen. Those are your 15 minutes, and they can make you a star. But you got to be prepared, and you got to do it with intention.
Well, I agree. I love it. Gayl, I wish we just had all day to sit and chat. I think we need to, all of us, load up a bus. We need to plan to head to Hollywood and attend one of your classes. I think that's going to be the key. And again, Gayl's website is interviewtactics.com. Everyone rushed there. Let's see. Maybe that's what happened earlier. I rushed to my server went down.
That's what happened. Get my free interview tactics report. It's it includes the first chapter of the book and a really young picture of me and Tom Cruise. I think it was for his second movie, which is hilarious. And this way, we can stay in touch. Also, if you want to call me, you can call me at 323-417-5172. I do coaching. I do speaking. I'm here to change the world. I don't know about you. I do know about you. You're here to change the world, too.
That's right. And if I put your Twitter handle on our chat, I put it in the chat room. We have your website in there. So everybody connect with Gayl. Wonderful, wonderful information. I mean, I want to show you all my notes. Look at the notes that I've taken. Tons of information. If you don't have a giant notepad filled with scribbled notes, you missed out. You're going to have to just go and listen to the show again when it's up on the replay later today. And Gayl, we will be putting this up for replay, and I'll send you the link so you can have that as well. But thank you so much.
Oh, listen, I just want to say some people are remarking about the folding laundry thing. Let's just say do something mundane.
Yeah, there we go.
Because that overwhelm is like hands around your neck. Yeah, hands around your neck, and it will constrict you. Do something mundane. Tie your shoes. Comb your hair. Brush your teeth. But you got to break that lousy overwhelm.
Yeah, you're right. Even just go for a walk up and down your stairs, around the block, around your house, and come back, you'll feel better.
Yes. And so I just want to leave you with a parting shot.
Love it.
You got to pitch it to promote it so you can tell it to sell it. Come to the site. Let me give you something for free. And, I'll see you on TV.
And I got to remember that. Pitch it to sell it.
No, pitch it to promote it.
Pitch it to promote it.
Tell it to sell it.
Tell it to sell it. There we go.
That's right.
Well, Gayl, cheers to you. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week. And we look forward to continuing our relationship on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever we can connect via phone with Gayl. So thank you.
You guys are the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Gayl.
All right, thanks.
You have a great one. Take care.
Okay.
I told you we'd love her. I told you. Yeah, everyone is saying, love this, the energy. Yeah, I just knew it, that she was just fabulous and has such great content. And again, I left that listening even last week of just knowing we all need to, no matter how long we've been in business, spend more time crafting those messages that in order to stand out. And I think that's where it's similar. Our businesses, think of it like Hollywood stars. They come and they go. The ones that stay are the ones that have spent the time crafting a message to be memorable. And I think we have to really work at standing out in this crazy, technological, overcrowded highway.
No, and in fact, it's interesting when Gayl mentioned about how people in Hollywood tend to use their same crew over and over. I have a video on video editing from Quentin Tarantino's video editor. She's been with him about 25 years. She says, I know how he works. He knows how I work. We argue, we bicker, we work.
Right.
But they have a lot of fun together. 25 years. That's a long time working with someone. And it's just, that's the nature of the business, if you think about it. And everybody you know, who do you like working with?
Right.
And how often do you want to work with those people? You work with people you like or you have fun with.
That's right.
Unless you're a masochist and then you work with people you hate. But that's something that's something different.
And you torture yourself every week.
That's right.
Well, so many of you know my painful week that I had in Facebook jail. But for those of you who don't know, last Friday, well, actually, it even started before that. A week ago, I posted a picture on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Getting Geeky. I posted that picture of a little girl, innocent little picture, cute little picture, look, maybe 2 years old, sitting on a little potty chair. And she had her head in her hands with a laptop in front of her on the floor. So she was watching something or looking at something. And that was the picture. So I posted that and I said, are we becoming too addicted to our gadgets? How many of you are guilty of bringing a gadget into the restroom with you? Well, a lot of people had commented. Within an hour, I got a message from Facebook saying that picture has been flagged as inappropriate and has been removed, which I was really surprised because I thought it was not inappropriate at all, but I just went, oh, well. So it was removed. Didn't think anything of it. A week goes by, and on Friday, I actually was covering for one of our community managers who was out of town, and we got a call from the client who said, can you get this posted on our Facebook page? I said, you know what? I'm on it. I'll get that taken care of. I went to post on their page, and this big message comes up on my screen. You have been banned from Facebook for 24 hours for violation of Facebook's terms and conditions. And it showed the picture of the little girl. Like they're letting me know this is why you are being thrown in the slammer for 24 hours.
And you had no notice or anything else. It just basically threw you out.
Between that week, there was no messaging from Facebook. So I just assumed it was already a done deal. They just removed the photo. But now a week later, I cannot log in. So here's what I learned in my 24 hours doing time. It was hard time. I learned that there is no person involved. It is an Autobot that goes through, and I did all kinds of research on this while I sat in the slammer for 24 hours. It's an Autobot that searches Facebook for content, and if there is a photo that is deemed inappropriate, and they did list a lot of things, anything that has to do with nudity, except if it's an artistic picture. It says if it's it gave the example, as a matter of fact, of something done by Michelangelo, for example. And I was like, how are they coming up with these standards? But if it's an artistic picture, or if it was a mother breastfeeding, those pictures would be deemed appropriate, but others may be deemed inappropriate and removed immediately. If you continue to try to log in to post during your ban, the ban will be extended. It is an automated thing. There's no person to contact. There's no help. You can go in and find all the Facebook resources, and all it is a forum with everyone else complaining that it happened to them. And I've since talked to several people who were banned from Facebook for sending out too many friend requests at one time. They uploaded their email contacts and sent out friend requests. And if too many people say, I don't know this person, that flags Facebook to ban you. She was banned for 7 days. That would be really painful. The bigger problem that we discovered was because it was my Facebook account, and that Facebook account has the API linked with Hootsuite, our third-party social management tool. Hootsuite, all the APIs on really anything were cut from Facebook. And so what happened was any of our client accounts that we had content loaded in on Hootsuite wouldn't work. So we had to wait, again, not a crisis. No house was burning down. Somebody's Facebook post didn't go out on a Friday. But it was very interesting to learn what you need to do. You truly have to stay off Facebook if you want that 24-hour period to go faster. If you keep trying, it will be extended. So it was really quite frightening and quite humbling. I'm a new person now.
Now do you hate Facebook?
I'm rehabilitated.
Google Plus.
But I did feel like there should be a bail bondsman. Facebook bail bondsman somewhere that can help get you out.
You know what the problem is? They don't even care that you run a business partially off of that and other things. It is what it is.
It is. And that's what I kept saying. If there were a person that I could contact to say, just go look at my page, you'll see that. But
well, Facebook has been somewhat onerous in the past on certain things. So
yeah,
what's new?
It's random. And Larry, that is a good point. He said he wonders if it was because of a toilet. I think I've posted a picture of a toilet before, like different signs on a toilet.
You know what, Gina? You know what, Gina? Forget the toilet stuff.
You don't go there?
No.
I don't know, but I'm more careful now. The pictures
potty
that
gets you in trouble.
It gets you in trouble. So really do think twice before posting. Now, here's another thing that I'm worried about. I think a couple people shared that photo. So when I posted it, if people liked it or commented, no problem. But if you share it on your page, you'd also be getting banned.
You know, was there a tag on the page on that photo by any chance that may have tagged it as something?
No. It was a picture I had in my computer of a little girl just looking at a laptop, and it was just titled "Little Girl on Potty." So maybe the word potty.
Look, be lucky you don't live in California. You may have been actually arrested as a sex offender for that one.
And that is that is a discussion I got into with someone.
Which is insane, but...
Well, and you do look at that and say, I'm glad that Facebook has those terms and that they are trying to put some things into place to keep it from turning into a, pornography site. I mean, Twitter, for goodness sake, some of the Twitter profiles, I wish Twitter had something that scanned the profile pictures of some of these people. But, on one hand, I'm glad. It just seems like because it's automated, there's no common sense applied to that filter. But I guess better this way than the other. But it was definitely my first time in Facebook jail.
Now, have you talked to anybody at Facebook about that?
There is not a person you can call. You can go to their help, and it takes you to a forum. It's all automated. There is, unless you know someone personally at Facebook, anybody that has had challenges on Facebook, it is one of the most frustrating services to try and find a live, real person. It's all automated.
Well, we were considering going to Google Mail recently, and for business, and I've been told by a lot of people, don't. Because if you do, there'll be nobody actually there for support. Yeah, and by the way, I sent their sales team a support question. It's been 2 weeks, no response yet.
Oh, wow.
So that's a good sign that maybe you don't want to go there.
I know. It's hard. It's you look at that and say automation is helping us be more efficient. But when you have a problem, and I felt so frustrated, and then it really gave me a new empathy for people who don't feel as technically savvy around these social sites. I knew where to click and try to go and still was frustrated. I thought, wow, for people who have tried to, reclaim a Facebook name that somehow got taken by someone else and, or locked, or it was just a very frustrating experience. So, the moral is you're better off reaching out to your community on Facebook and Twitter for answers than you are trying to get the answers from the company itself. So that was kind of interesting.
Well, Gina, it's about time.
It is. It's about time. And
so we
there's
got
only
apps
one.
for next week.
What's that?
We got apps for next week.
We do have apps for next week. And there's one thing I want to mention is next week we have the folks who have created and started this new site. Maybe it's not too new. Kred, Kred. And it's another social influence measurement site like
Clout.
Like Clout. So this one's called Kred, and People Browser is their other site. And so we have them on next week talking about social influence.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, thank you all in the chat room. We have a lot of notes, great note-taking that went on in the chat room. So I will save the notes. I will put them on our Facebook page, facebook.com/SchreckTeck. And you can find past episodes and all of our chat room notes there.
And for all you guys in the chat room, thanks for being there. And we will see you guys all next week on SchreckTeck. Have a good one, Gina. Take care.
Bye.